driving test starts today. A new UK driving test has come into force today, designed to focus on modern driving styles and road scenarios in a bid to bring the format up to date. Candidates are now faced with more maneuvers, such as reverse bay parking, while dated ones such as reversing around a corner will be removed. Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency, DVSA, research shows that half of motorists use sat-nav, but around a quarter of accidents involving new drivers are caused by them being distracted. The new test aims to address this by integrating a sat-nav into the test for the first time. Drivers taking the test will now be asked to follow directions to a predetermined destination, enabling examiners to assess a driver's ability to follow instruction while also adhering to road signs. The independent driving section of the driving test, where drivers are asked to follow signs to a destination without further instruction from the examiner or sat-nav, will also be extended from 10 to 20 minutes. Additionally, examiners will now ask safety questions while the driver is on the move, or even ask them to use turn on certain controls, such as the rear heated screen. Edmund King, president of the AA, welcomed the changes, telling Autocar, "We know that new drivers are a higher risk on the roads, therefore we need to better prepare them for real-world driving. These changes will test drivers in a more realistic manner, which is essential to improving their safety once their L plates are removed." The changes, particularly the extended independent driving and use of a sat-nav, should help to produce better, safer motorists. We have already had positive feedback from our driving instructors and their pupils and therefore fully support these proposed changes. In the future, we will need to see further changes to the test when we have more electric, connected and semi-autonomous cars on our roads. Read more. UK driving test set for changes in 2017. Learner drivers to be allowed onto motorways in 2018. Autocar launches Safer Learner Driver Scheme. Why was there no test previously for reading a map book? Testing for following sat-nav is not safety related. Navigation was considered as secondary to car control and recognizing dangerous situations and road signs. Are drivers to be tested on mobile phone use in case there is an accident and need help? Too many committee meetings and think tanks. Methinks. Thank the Lord I passed my test 35 years ago. Smile. You are correct. Sat-nav use isn't an intrinsic part of driving. And while I would hope that the inclusion of reversing into bays may encourage more to do so after passing the test, because it seems a vast majority as it stands drive in and then get annoyed when one sounds the horn at them to prevent them hitting one's car as they blindly scoot out backwards without taking care to ensure their way is clear, yet I am sure that reversing around a corner should still be a requirement at the same time. It's a different skill, especially in terms of observation in all three directions. Perfect for the future Uber drivers, setting the sat-nav as they won't know their way around in this country yet and parking in a bay whilst dropping off the perpetually unemployed at Aldi to stock up on cheap beer and crisp mullet packs for the weekend. Putting the great back into Britain. What has any of that got to do with anything? Is this a test of how you can drive? Or how well you can operate the car? And what if you have a different car from the one you've learned to drive in? Or even that, for whatever reason, the car you learned in wasn't available on your test day? Test should be purely on driver skills. Not on where all the controls are in the car, not on whichever sat-nav is installed, and not on following a route where you may either have previous knowledge or not. Especially as for a new destination you'll probably would have already checked a map to see how to get there. Driver skills remain, but car accessories and sat-navs change and are improved. Sounds like a good update of the test, acknowledging new technology and removing out-of-date, less useful skills, such as reversing round a corner. I can't remember the last time I did that. I would even argue it's not a particularly safe maneuver anyway, especially with modern traffic levels. Parking skills are a good move. I would also like to see motorway driving included as part of the learning, testing procedure. Lane and speed, distance discipline on most of our motorways is shocking, not to mention signaling and general observation skills. Agree with most of it, but surely motorway skills are tested by dual carriageway driving? It's about 50 plus miles to the motorway from where I live, but my daughter had to drive on the main dual carriageway A road at motorway speeds during her test, though I'd imagine there are places around the UK where neither are available.